Blood surged to my face as I stared at the mangled stumps of my privacy hedges, 6 years of meticulous care obliterated in hours while I was at work. A yellow notice flapping on my front door read, "Vegetation violation corrected. $750 landscaping fee. Pinewood Estates HOA." I grabbed my measuring tape, heart pounding. The remains stood exactly 3 feet tall. HOA rules allowed 7 feet. Mine were 6.5, measured every Saturday. Someone had trespassed and destroyed my property for no reason. Through the gaps, I saw Linda Harris across the street, smirking as she pretended to prune her roses. She'd griped about my hedges blocking her view at every community meeting. I stormed inside, dialed the HOA office, my pulse racing. "Pinewood Estates, this is Susan," a voice answered. "Susan, it's Ethan Carter from 127 Oak Lane. My hedges were butchered, and I got a $750 fine." "Who authorized this?" Typing clacked. "We had complaints about visibility." "The board voted last Tuesday. Didn't you see the email?" "What email?" I snapped. My hedges were within regulation. Susan's tone chilled. "The board deemed them a safety hazard. File an appeal if you disagree." I hung up, pacing. This wasn't just unfair, it was illegal. Camera in hand, I documented the damage. A white SUV crawled by. Margaret Evans, HOA president, lowered her window, her sleek ponytail unmoving. "Looks better now, Ethan. The neighborhood appreciates compliance." "I was compliant, Margaret," I shot back. "This was trespassing." Her smile was icy. "Check your email next time." As she drove off, I shouted, "You targeted me, just like the Petersons' fence." Her window paused, then closed. My phone buzzed with a job confirmation. I was Pinewood's new financial auditor, starting Monday. The board, unaware, had granted me access to 5 years of their records. A grin broke through my rage. Margaret thought she held power, but she'd handed me her secrets. That night, through my now exposed window, I saw board members slipping into Margaret's house for an unscheduled meeting. David Lee, the only board member who ever opposed her, looked tense as he hurried inside. Something bigger was brewing. At dawn, Linda's lawnmower roared, 6 a.m., violating noise rules Margaret ignored for her allies. Over coffee, I scoured the HOA bylaws, highlighting rules on property access and voting. By Monday, Pinewood would face a reckoning. At the county records office, I confirmed the HOA had no easement rights near my hedges, pure trespassing. The landscaping company, Green Vista Solutions, was registered 3 months ago by Richard Evans, Margaret's brother-in-law. I snapped photos and headed to Linda's. She opened her door, a smile fading. "Ethan? Nice sprinklers, Linda, for a drought restriction day," I said, eyeing her running hoses. "Funny how some violations slide, but my complaint hedges get chopped." Her face reddened. "Your hedges were a safety hazard. My lot's mid-block, not an intersection. County maps show no visibility issues." "What did Margaret tell you at the garden club?" Linda stammered. "She said she'd handle it." "Without notice?" "That's against the bylaws." Her door slammed. I spent hours photographing violations: Margaret's oversized pergola, Tom Reed's unpermitted deck, the Wilsons' overnight RV parking, all board allies, all ignored. Margaret's SUV pulled up as I shot her non-regulation mailbox. "New hobby, Ethan?" she purred. "Just noting rule exceptions," I replied. "Troublemakers face scrutiny," she warned, driving off. An email arrived confirming my auditor credentials, requested by David. Logging in, I found Green Vista received $200,000 for emergency work, including $1,500 for my hedges, $750 billed to me, $750 from HOA funds. David met me at Riverside Park, nervous. "Margaret's planning a $1.2 million renovation, all to Green Vista. It'll drain reserves and require a loan." I showed him my county photos. "I start Monday," I'll prove it. Be careful, he urged. She's ruthless. Monday, Susan gaped as I flashed my badge. I'm the auditor. I need all financials, starting with landscaping. Her hands shook as she complied. Spreadsheets revealed Green Vista's $1,200 per hedge charges. Market rate, $500. A county friend confirmed Richard was married to Margaret's sister. Last year, Green Vista pocketed $216,700. Violation records showed favoritism. Board allies skated, others got slammed. At 4:30, Margaret's voice echoed. I slipped out, spotting David later. She's nervous, he whispered. Emergency meeting tomorrow, personnel restructuring. She wants you gone. I handed him evidence. If I'm fired, get this to every homeowner. That night, Margaret texted board members, accusing me of a vendetta. David saw my presentation: nepotism, inflated contracts, and selective enforcement. She flagged your property after you questioned fees, he noted. Bylaws guaranteed my right to present at public meetings. She can't stop me, I said. Rain soaked the packed community center. Margaret tapped the mic, her smile forced. Our auditor, Ethan Carter, is misusing his role over a minor hedge issue. We'll vote to terminate him. I stood, projector ready. I'd like to share my findings. Sit down, she hissed. I held up the bylaws. Article 7, Section 3, residents can present financial data. My evidence is relevant. David backed me. Murmurs grew. Margaret relented. 5 minutes. My slide showed my ruined hedges. This wasn't a mistake. Margaret ordered it, despite compliance. Gasps followed as I revealed Green Vista's $500,000 haul, owned by her brother-in-law. A resident shouted, They charged me $900 for one tree. My map showed enforcement bias. Board allies' properties violation-free, others peppered with fines. Reserves dropped 40% in 2 years, with no major projects, I said. Mrs. Larson, an elderly resident, stood. Why'd you find my roses but ignore Linda's unpermitted gazebo? Voices erupted. Margaret grabbed the mic. This meeting's adjourned. David demanded a vote to continue and to audit finances independently. Hands shot up, motion passed. Margaret stormed out, snarling. You'll regret this, Ethan. At 6:15 a.m., a bulldozer rumbled. Margaret, in a safety vest, claimed an emergency leak under my yard. The work order had only 2 signatures. Neighbors gathered. I called David. This is revenge, I shouted. The crew, from an unregistered firm, packed up when I questioned their license. News vans arrived, tipped by David. Margaret fled as reporters swarmed. I'm exposing how one woman ruled our neighborhood, I told the camera. 6 weeks later, Margaret and 3 board members were arrested for fraud, misappropriating $400,000 via fake invoices and kickbacks. Green Vista billed for undone work, damaging plants with cheap chemicals. Linda's house hit the market. She couldn't afford restitution. David's board refunded $750 fines with interest. The county tapped me for an HOA oversight task force. New hedges sprouted in my yard, and neighbors waved freely. A woman house hunting asked, Is this a good neighborhood? David and I grinned. It is now. What do you think? Was Ethan's fight justified, or did he go too far? Share your thoughts below, especially on where pranks and power plays cross the line in relationships. Smash that like button and subscribe for more drama.